Okay, here we are in part two of creating extra functionality for a WordPress theme that doesn't have all the options that you need, and you're trying to extend and spruce up your site for whatever reason. Maybe you want to add backgrounds, background images, and so forth. So, in this part two, what we're going to do is we're going to start switching some stuff around. So, when I went to bed last night, I started thinking that, okay, this isn't really going to be practical to create a page. And just let me go back to all pages. So as you remember in part one, we created a page where we designated that this is where Eleanor will be able to change the background for the front page here, okay? However, that's not really too practical because we don't want all this mixed in with the pages because it's going to be hard to find, especially when she starts adding more pages. So what we need to do is separate this, okay? So what I've done is I've created a new option for her, and I called it OMG options because it's OMG good, and it's just a simple custom post type that I created for her, and we're just going to get started on it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this page that we created because we don't need that thing anymore. So let's just go ahead and send that to the trash, and then we're done with that. So let's just get rid of it altogether out of the system. So custom styles, we're just going to permanently delete it. Now I have done some other work in the background inside of the actual functions file. I kind of moved it into an MU plugins folder because that way she'll have more control when if she decides to change out her theme, then it won't be that much of a burden. And I'll take you through the process. So let me show you that first. Just go to plugins. And I don't want this to carry on for a long time, but if you go to must use, you'll see that I've created just a simple plugin where it adds this option right here. It adds this custom post type, and I've actually moved all of the function. I've moved the function inside of this admin add-on functions.php, and you can see that here on the remote server. It's right here under the MU plugins. But that's another tutorial for a different day. Um, but the reason why I did it is because, like I explained before, if she wants to change out her theme, then if I was to put this function inside of her functions.php file for her theme, then this function will no longer be valid. But putting it inside an MU plugin, this will apply to any theme that she decides to activate, and this custom post type will always be there. It'll never leave, and it can just be reused over and over again for whatever theme that she's using. So it's pretty slick setup. So let's go back to the site. So that's the MU, the must use plugin right there. And here is the OMG options. So if we go into the OMG options, we have one post type created. So if we click in there, we don't see anything. So in order to cure this, what we're going to do is go back to our custom fields. And then I've actually renamed this to the homepage section styles because it makes more sense. And then we'll click edit. And I've also added another field for the actual controls that she's going to be using. So this is called section class 1. And it's just a text field, as you can see right here. And you can see all the different fields, color picker, and then the image. So, but the thing that we're going to change here, we want to change this to a post type. So if the post type is equal to OMG options, this control will only be available for this custom post type. So now that I've changed that, I'll click update. Boom, boom, boom. And then when we go back to our custom post type and go inside of our custom styles, we'll see that we have our controls right here. So we have our home page section styles, and then we have this field called class 1, and then of course you remember these two. So let me explain what I did here. For the section class 1, what I've done is I've created a field right here, a text field. So the reason why I did this, so let's say if she wants to not apply the color or background to this actual section that you see here on the front page, right? And let's say she wanted to add it. Let's go to a random page. Let's say the analyst. So we'll just do an inspect element real quick. And then we'll see what container this is. So we know that, just take this class for instance, right? Let's say if we wanted to apply some color to this headline right here, we would just take this class, and I'll show you what I mean. And we would just change this home section 2 out to the entry title, because that's the class that's applied to this H1 tag. So let's go ahead and apply that title, and then let's just apply a background color to see if it works. Okay, I haven't tested it yet, but it should work because all we're doing is applying that class to that section. So we'll click update, and then let's check it out and see what we have. We should have a colored background for this right here. So bang, perfect. And if we go back to the home page, we'll see that that color is not applied to this section as we had it deemed before. So let's go ahead and remove this, and let's put it back to the way it was. What was it called? It was called home page. Oh, we need to do another inspect element because I can't remember. Section 2, home section 2. We just want this right here. And you remember in the first video we used home even and then home section 2. So let's just switch that out. Now if I apply this class here and then click update, and then we go back to this page and I refresh, we won't see this outline anymore. I mean this background. So we'll click refresh. It's gone, but when we go to the home page, we'll see that color added to this section. See how versatile it is now that she can just use this wherever she wants to go, and we can just extend this even further and make it that much more intuitive for her so that she can apply colors and backgrounds to wherever she wants to in her site. That's all we'd have to do is just target that specific class. And if that specific container or that specific element doesn't have a class, and let's say it has an ID, then we can just go into the code real easy and just apply a class to it. Just write any type of class and then assign that class to this box right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear that so it's not showing up on the front of the site, and then hit refresh, and now we're all clear. And I just want to show you real quick before we go into the next part of this what I did here. Basically what I did was, instead of having the actual class right here, now I'm taking that section class 1 and I'm applying it as a class. So the class always begins with a period. If this was an ID, it would be like a hash sign, right? Or pound sign. Okay, but it's a class. Class always begins with a period, and then it's going to echo out, meaning it's going to output the actual class name, which I just demonstrated to you. So let's go back to the site here. So now what we want to do for the home page, because I just spoke with Eleanor and she's like, well, how do I apply it to another section? So I'm assuming she's not meaning here, because with this theme it allows for this section right here for her to apply a background, and then this section right here would be probably home section 3, I'm assuming, or is it 4? Maybe it's 4. Not sure. 4. Yeah, this looked like it's 4. So let's just test it and see if we're on the right track. So we'll go background. We'll go red. Okay, so there we go. So we know that that's home section 4, and we'll just keep that where it's at right now, and then we're gonna do some more editing to our actual advanced custom field. So let's go to the back end, and we are going to go to custom fields. All right, so we're going to click edit, and then the first thing I'm going to do is add a tab, and this is going to be section 1, Well, actually, it's section 2. Okay, so we'll just make it specific. So we'll just make it specific to that section so it makes sense. Maybe we should do the number 2. It doesn't really matter, I guess. So we'll just say section 2, and then there's our ID. But we don't need an ID because we're going to make this a tab. So we'll just click on tab, and then we'll move this tab right above everything right there. So now this tab will reveal all of these right here. So now what we need to do is we need to create a new tab. So I'm going to duplicate this one, and we'll call this tab 3. And then we'll move this tab down here. And then we're just going to duplicate all of these. So we're going to duplicate this one here, and we're going to move this under that tab. And we're going to duplicate this one and move that down under this tab. And we'll duplicate this one and move it down below there. So now what we want to do is click on edit. So now this will become section class 2. Say 2, and we'll keep that as is. And then for the background color, we'll edit that, and we'll call this background color. We'll just use the number 2. Maybe I should have called it section 2. Probably make more sense, right? Yeah, let's just do that so it makes better sense. Section, actually it's section 4, right? Yeah, section 4. I'm getting a little goofy right now. So say section 4. Okay, good to go. And then background image, section 4. Okay, and then background image, let's say _4. Okay, so now we have our tab set up. So let's see, we need to change that. Section class 1. See, I named that wrong. So let me correct these so that they all make sense. So this will be actually section class 2. And let's make that a number 2 where it makes perfect sense for us. And then background color, we'll say section 2. Section 2, we'll do that. _2. Let's change this section 2. Okay, that looks good. Section 2. Let's make this all conclusive all the way across section 2. Okay, because we're going to be matching it up with the IDs. Image. Oh, maybe I got to spell this correctly. Background image section 2 and section 2. So I'm just trying to keep everything consistent so that it all works in harmony. So I need to make sure that I name everything correctly. Okay. So we have background color section 2, image section 2, and we'll call those sections as well. Let's see, where are we at? Section 3. Why is that section 3? This should be section 4. Okay, there we go. Section 4. And what did I name those? Class. Then section. Now that I'm doing all this, right, I have to make sure that I go and correct all of my IDs too, so that they make sense. Well, I need to make sure I change the IDs, otherwise nothing will be output to. So we'll just name it specific to what it is, section 2. All right, so we have section 2, section 2, section 2, section 4, section 4. Change these to section. And then section 4. Okay. And edit. And we'll say background. This should be the number 4. Okay. There we go. And then we need to correct this one. Okay, there we go. Now everything is looking good. Okay, so we have our section 2 tab and our section 4. So section class section 2, there it is. Background color section 2, background image section 2, class section 4, color section 4, image section 4. Great. Okay, so let's update this. First, what we're going to do is we're going to change all of our IDs out right now. So let's copy that. And then let's go to our function and then paste in the new IDs. Otherwise, they won't work. So this is background color. Oops. And background color, we need to change here. Paste. Change this out to. Paste there. And then we need to change out the background image ID, which is background image section 2. Copy. And then paste those in right there. Here we go. All right. All right, so let's save this, and we have that in place. So that's all set up. And then let's update this. I think I already did, but it's okay. We'll do it again. Now let's go look at our options inside of our custom post type here. So we click custom styles, and you'll see we have a section 2 and we have a section 4, right? So now we can apply our class to section 2, which would be, what was the name of it? It was actually section. So it's section 4, section 2, so we'll paste that in. So that's our class. Section 2. There we go. So that's the class for section 2 right here, and I'll show you again how we see that. Here it is right here. So I can do some testing. I can go delete, boom, it takes everything away, right? All right, so let's undo that. And there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and test and make sure that we are on the right track. So let's make that section 2 color red, hit update, and then let's see if we have what we're looking for. Hit refresh. Okay, boom. All right, so we have everything set up correctly. Awesome. And we'll clear that and then just update. So now we're going to be dealing with section 4, which is right here. So basically all we need to do is copy everything from this closing curly bracket all the way up to here. So everything in between this ending style and the beginning style tag, we'll just copy that. And then let's give it some space. and boom, paste it in. And we can even put a comment here. We'll say section 4. And up here we'll say section 2. Okay. So the only thing we need to change out here are the numbers. So we'll say 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4. So now we're all set up. So now let's test it and make sure that we can see the actual color on section 4. So let's save this, and then let's go back to our theme here and see if I still have, oops, that's a little bit too much. Let's just copy section 2, and we'll just change the number on the end there, make that 4, and then let's go ahead and apply a color. Say yellow or blue. Let's just do both real quick. So make that yellow, and then section 2 will be yellow and section 4 will be blue. And then let's update, boom. And then let's refresh the page. This is still going to be yellow because we didn't change anything. The color is still the same. So it looks like we have something weird going on. So let's check and see. Our color isn't showing up. So what could be the problem? Alright, so let's look in our, we may be cached right now, so we may need to clear our cache because those should be showing, and it's not. So let's do a hard refresh. 2, there we go. Now we should be good to go. So let's save that, and then we should have our colors that we set. Otherwise it won't work because it's going to look at all that code. Alright, booger, what's going on here? So this should be working for us. Do I have the right ID? 1128, yes. So section 4, home section 2. Let's check our IDs and make sure we have those correct. So let's go back into our custom fields. Come on now. So that didn't save for us. So here we go. So I'm just going to do it the traditional way, the way it should work, instead of, there we go. So there's our comment. I don't know why that didn't work. It should have worked. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We always work it out. And that should be good to go. Now, let's test it. I'm not sure I like those comments, but let's see if it at least applied our styles. So there's section 1. We got our yellow. Section 2, I mean. And then section 4, there we go. We have our blue. So, okay. So it's all set up. I just needed to change my commenting so that I'll know which section we're on. I'll even expand this even more dynamically so that it's more readable. So if anyone else will be working on the site at whatever point, then these comments will help them know what's going on. Alright, so there we go. We have that all set up. So now she has the options to change the background for this white section here and for this blue section right down here. So we are good to go. Let me put this back. Let's let it clear that, and then clear this one, and then bam, let's update. And I just want to look at the code back here and see what's being output. We should have nothing there. Okay, great. So we have no attributes for section 4 or section 2. And then when we refresh the page, we should be back to white. Bam, perfecto. All right, so there we go. I know that was a little bit long. It should have went faster, but hey, sometimes I have to remember stuff. It happens. So there you go. That's the dynamics of how you can extend your premium theme when the theme doesn't offer you the controls that you are looking for or that you need. So once again, this is Wayne Hatter, and if you need any functions extended or any added functionality to your WordPress website, just go ahead and reach out. You can leave a message here in the comments, or you can visit my site at yourwpmadesimple.com, or you can also find me on Facebook. And there you go. Thank you guys for watching, and have an awesome Thanksgiving. Bye bye.